Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we're going to be doing a tier list ranking the Doctor Who animations. Most of them anyway. This one doesn't seem to have been updated to include Underwater Menace, but I will point out where I think it goes on this list. This was actually suggested to me by one of my fellow Doctor Who YouTubers, DW Fan 91, who does a great YouTube channel, a great Doctor Who channel. Also did a video himself talking about the animations recently because he's not overly fond of them. I actually plan on doing a rebuttal video because I'm quite fond of them, and I just love the idea of seeing two different opposing views on the same subject, and how neither one is necessarily right or wrong. It's just how each person individually feels and why they feel that way. That fascinates me because he seems to enjoy my content. I enjoy his content, and I think it would be fun to see kind of both points of view on the animation. So I'm going to be doing that at some point. But today I'm just going to be ranking them by tier. C tier is of course average for me. Anything above C tier is above average. Anything below C tier is below average. And of course there is a goat tier up top because there is a couple that goes in that. And then when I get to the end, I'll talk about where I think Underwater Menace sits as well. Starting with the Invasion. I think the Invasion is A tier. I really like the Invasion. I think it's pretty solid. Uh, Maybe I should bump it up. I'm gonna bump it up to S tier. Especially for being the first one, it blends in with the footage really well. Other than a couple little scenes like the helicopter escape is a little confusing. Other than that, I do think it's really good. It gets the likenesses down pretty well. So yeah, I think it just edges into S tier. Reign of Terror for me. I think the animation itself is S tier, but some of the camera work is A tier. So just barely A tier because I actually like the Planet 55 style a lot. Um, but it doesn't quite work. Some of the camera angles are a little wonky. The Ice Warriors is solid B tier. I think it's solid B tier. I like it well enough. 10th Planet. Solid A tier. Solid A tier. Again, some of the camera work's a little wonky and it can be a little jarring going from episode 3 to 4. Wasn't as bad last time I watched it, though, which was recently. Tempted to put it in S, gonna leave it in A for now. The Moon Base is GOAT tier. I love the Moon Base. It is my favorite animation. I like it. Planet 55 seemed to have perfected their style there. I really wish they had used them for Underwater Menace originally back when the DVD released. I think that would have worked really well. They had everything going, camera angles worked, character likenesses have never looked better on any animation. You definitely know which character is which. And these scenes with these Cybermen looking can look more intimidating and terrifying than the actual surviving footage from the other two episodes. It's really well done. Love the Moonbase animation. Power of the Daleks. I'm gonna go with C. If the special edition didn't exist, this would be a little higher, but it is a little stilted in places. Like I never go back and watch this version anymore now that we have the other one. Shada, solid A. Tom's likeness isn't 100% for me. Where's my drink? There it is. Tom's face isn't quite 100% for me. Romana's either. Although Skagra's is really good. And a lot of the other animations are really good for the characters. It's really good in the way characters move a lot, but it's not quite as polished as some of the ones that have come later. But solid A. Macroterra, also GOAT tier. Because Macroterra is my favorite post-power animation. Because I really feel like the animations can be divided up into two eras. Everything before power and everything after power. And so I think the Moonbase is easily GOAT tier pre-power. I mean, even overall, it's GOAT tier. But for pre-power, it's the best of the best. It looks phenomenal. Whereas Macroterra post-power is best of the best. It has a fluidity in its movement of characters that has not been matched yet. Even though Underwater Menace has come close. And then the facial expressions are actually really well done. The facial expressions feel natural to me, especially a lot of the facial expressions Troughton does. They really feel like things I can see Troughton doing. So I liked that. Faceless Ones. Yeah, solid A. I think it's a step back from Macra, but I think it's good. Power of the Daleks, probably S tier. It probably isn't as good as, say, Faceless Ones, but I like the story so much better. It works in black and white. It's such a step above the 2016 animation. I'm sure part of my love for Power of the Daleks itself is carrying it up a little bit, but I do put it in S tier. Fury from the Deep goes smack into F tier because it's just garbage. It's just garbage. And I don't blame the animation team. I'm not trying to insult the people who made it because I know it's a lot of the same people who made Galaxy 4 and Abominable Snowmen, and those are much better. I feel it's just time. Time and money got them. And some of the decisions they had to make weren't good decisions. Some of the decisions they made anyway, I think Gary Russell made some very bad decisions there about expanding spaces to make them wider, which takes away from the claustrophobic nature of the story. And then having to put a bunch of the guards under helmets because they didn't have time to do the faces. I just felt like too many shortcuts were taken. This one's absolute garbage for me. Galaxy 4. I'm not sure if this goes in A or B. I'm going to put it in B. It's close. It's like halfway between. I'm going to put it in B. I don't like the fact the animation doesn't match the surviving footage. It's very jarring going from animation to live action, especially with the encampment around the real ship being so drastically redesigned. If you're going to watch the animation, watch all of it animated. If you're going to watch surviving footage, watch it with the recon. So I have to bump it down a little for that. Also, Hartnell's face doesn't look quite right. Web of Fear, also F, just garbage. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to bump E. I'm going to have to bump Fury into E just because it's considerably better than the Web of Fear. So yeah, we'll bump Fury up a little bit just because it is better than the Web of Fear animation. Just out of that. Evil of the Daleks. Definitely S tier. Really good animation, really good, especially at the end once they get on Skaro. I love the black and white animation. I love the color animation, and it incorporates the surviving episode 2 in with the animated episodes really well. Troughton's likeness isn't 100%, but it's good enough. And then the Abominable Snowmen. Yeah, I'm going to say S tier. It's really hard to watch the surviving episode 2 because the characters have been changed so drastically, the guest cast. Now, I think they went with the right decision, making them look naturally Tibetan instead of, a white person in whatever face you would call that. But they changed them so much, like adding beards and scars and glasses, that it's really hard to watch the surviving episode 2 and know who's who. If you're gonna watch it, you really just want to watch it all animated. The black and white animation and the color animation look great, and it's a huge improvement over Fury from the Deep and even Galaxy 4. And then Underwater Menace, I would put also. I think it would go in A tier. The fluidity of movement is really good, better than Abominable Snowmen. Some of the characters, like Zaroff, don't quite work, though. Although I think the main characters look like their parts really well. I don't take like some of the liberties taken with like the fish people. But other than that, I think it's really well done. Again, the fluidity of movement looks really good. So it would be solid A tier if I was doing Underwater Menace on this list. So that's how I would rank them. I want to know what you think of this list and how you would rank the animations. So comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button as well. All that fun stuff down in the description. Links to the Patreon, links to the Amazon wish list. P.O. boxes down there as well. If anyone knows anything I'm interested in, I would love some Doctor Who shirts. I've only got like 1 or 2 Doctor Who shirts left. I hardly ever buy shirts. Some of these shirts I've had for a while. So if anyone wants to send any like sci-fi shirts, I would love to wear them on the channel. I wear probably a small or a medium. Just if anyone's interested in something to send me. Also, I would love if anyone would send me one of the collection sets in the standard packaging, because I can't decide if I want to spend the money to recollect those. So I'd love to get just one. It doesn't matter what season, just one standard edition set. If someone doesn't mind sending one, I don't need them. I have all of the limited editions, but I'd love to get just one, just to be able to do a video on it, look at it, and decide if that's something I'd want to do or not. So I could keep my limited editions for sitting on the shelf and looking pretty, and my standard ones for actually watching. Just if anyone's interested. I do want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Stephen Crane, Colin Coney, and Finn Perkins. I do appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. It does help, and it is appreciated. Most importantly, thank you for watching.